Welcome to this ultimate comparison that I'm about to start today, right now in this video, between Cisco systems and Juniper networks. If you heard about one of them, it's more than enough to start this video. My name is Cisco. You can follow me and follow all my content on all of these links that you can see on the screen right now. On these links actually, or specifically, are for the group of Facebook that I have for technical discussion, as well as sharing a lot of information and files and documents and resources about networking. My YouTube channel, which you are seeing me through right now, the website that I provide on that website, English professional high-level courses as well, starting from specialist, from associate to expert level courses, some profile on Instagram that will be fun for different content, as well as my official personal, let's say, account on LinkedIn. It is a personal account on linkedin.com. Okay, what are we about to see today? I will have to compare the platforms that these two companies produce, the virtual platforms as well, cloud services if they are supported, networking softwares, and by that I mean the operating systems of the network platforms that they produce, and the virtual platforms as well, books if they produce any, trainings if they provide any, certifications and exams when it comes to these two names of Cisco and Juniper, because sometimes all of what you think about when you hear about one of these two names is either a certification or an exam, as well as how to recertify with both of them. So that will be a long comparison. I will add chapters below the video of the YouTube. I will add a good description, a lot of resources and links. So it will be a really good and long video, but this will give you, let's say, around 6 to 7 years total experience that I have got with both of these platforms, because I have worked with them a lot. I have worked with their technical supports a lot. I have worked with them directly and personally with a lot of their employees, engineers, supervisors, team leaders, and managers from different regions, but mostly that will be EMEA and a little bit of North America. So that will be like 4 or 5 different teams, as well as I have collected 17 total certificate after passing over 25 exams from both of these guys. So yes, it has been a long 6 to 7 years with both of these guys. I read a ton of books, and I will talk about these books, and I will talk about how did I read these books actually already, and that will be really something that's worth watching actually. Okay, so I will start the very first slide, and I will be using the browser today a lot to keep showing you official resources, official links, official websites. I will not be talking about something imaginary. If I could show it here directly, I will do. Otherwise, I will have to edit the video later and add a screen that will show you what I'm talking about. It will not be just about talking. Okay, so number one, these two companies, and the first one, which is Cisco Systems, the other one is Juniper Networks. For simplicity, I will only be calling them Cisco and Juniper today. I will not be really using the word systems here, either networks in there, for simplicity only. Okay, number one, what do they provide? What do they manufacture? Devices, something physical, appliances that I can purchase from them. Routers, do they? They do. Cisco provide routers, as well as Juniper, they provide routers. Both of them provide small routers for office, some mid to large, let's say small to mid-size routers, some mid to large routers, and as well as they also provide and manufacture super expensive, super capable, highly capable as well, data centers and service provider routers, both of them. So that we can maybe use, let's say, google.com. Definitely I will be using google.com. In google.com I will type Cisco routers. What will I get? I will get this page, Cisco routers from cisco.com. If I went a little bit below, I can see something so clear, like how it's categorized. Branch routers, that will be Catalyst 8, let's say 8300, 8200, 8200, ISR 4000, and ISR 1000. This is a branch. This is something small, like a campus to enterprise level. WAN aggregation, this is highly expensive, but this will worth it because it's for WAN and connecting to the internet. Service provider, inside the service provider environment, inside ISP companies, you'll be finding 540 and 560, 4500, something like that, 5700 as well, 9000, starting from 9010 up until, no, 9010 is so high, 9001, 9006, 9010 available, 9900 something are available as well, and these will be looking like that. They will be a rack device, which is super expensive. We are talking about millions of dollars per node, depends on the specifications, but it's for their own purpose. Okay, there are the IR, look at how small they are. IR, how small they are. Okay, all of these are available, and there are also something called the virtual that I will not be talking about this moment. Then I will talk about it later. There is this small business as well. So yes, both of the companies, they do provide and they do create, what do we call, that will be the routers. If I went to Juniper and I type also Juniper routers, I will show you that with Juniper it will be kind of a little bit simpler. Why? Because when it comes to routers with Juniper, it's not really that a lot. It's either MX or PTX. MX starts from the smallest to the largest size of routers, as well as PTX starts from smallest to largest. But when we go to specifications and you go to pricing, you will understand that PTX is much more expensive compared to MX. Why? Because MX is kind of the ISR, the IR, ISR, ASR of Cisco, while PTX compares with the NCS and ASR 9000 of Cisco. So you will understand, even if the device is small, still it's super expensive and highly capable if it was a PTX. While small devices from MX are kind of like the same of a small devices from an ASR 1000 or let's say an ISR 4000 or an ISR 1000 from Cisco, and that will be for a campus or an enterprise network. So only two lines of productions there, mainly two lines of productions that you are mostly to see. These are kind of some extra lines of productions that you might or you might not see. Depends on the region that you're operating with, depends on the resellers and the distributors surrounding you, if they will import it or not, if they will provide it or not, if you would need it or not, but still they are routers and manufactured from Juniper. Now, since we are seeing something official on Juniper.net, it means that these are still not EOL, end of life or end of support. They are still so much available. This is the idea. Okay, now look at this. This is an exception because this is a firewall that I will talk about in a minute. Not a real router, but you can operate it in a packet-based mode, and that's why you can make it work as a router. Okay, that's the packet optical transport. This is something exceptional, not really a direct router, and some other lines of productions that you might see or not. Now, a JRR is only for RR purposes. That's why it's called the JRR, Juniper Router Reflector, and that is something exceptional. CTP, you might not see. It depends, but you might not see, like, let's say occasionally. ACX a little bit, but mainly MX and PTX. This is the idea with them. Another question. So what are the mainly, or let's say the most routers that I will see occasionally and deal with from Cisco, since also Cisco provides a lot, but what is the most that I will see? To be honest, with Cisco you will see a lot. You will see a lot, unlike with Juniper. With Juniper, mostly MX PTX, exceptionally the others, exceptionally. With Cisco, no. With Cisco, you can see the Catalyst 8000. You can see an ISR 1000, an ISR 4000, an ASR 1000, an ASR 9000. It's so fine to see them, all of them, like let's say in the same environment, in the same region. All of them are famous. NCS, different, let's say, lines of productions or models from NCS, including 500 something, 5000 something. Both of them can be used. I have seen all of them. This is the idea, most of these actually, but all of the ones that I mentioned, seen all the ASRs, the ISRs, and the NCSs. All of them I have seen them so far, but I haven't seen a real Catalyst until this moment because it has been announced last year. So I need to go back to a service provider or an enterprise network, let's say data center, to see if it has been installed or not. Number two, switches. They also provide switches as well. I will not be saying what is a router and the switch. I expect you to know. I expect you to have an experience already, but I'm talking about that as well. Cisco still manufacture and produce layer 2 switches, including, let's say, that will be 9200 series. Some of the license of them will make them semi-layer 2, semi-layer 3 switches. Some other advanced, let's say, higher level licenses will make them operate as a layer 3 switches, also known as a multi-layer switch. Also, if I went to the page, I will find a lot of lines of productions and models. You can see that as well. Just use google.com. It's straightforward. Cisco switches, done. That's it. Juniper switches, done. With Juniper, you will find that there are no layer 2 switches. All of the switches, even if it was less than a $100 switch, it will still be a layer 3 switch. Full capabilities of a multi-layer switch are supported. No layer 2 switches with Juniper at all. Not nowadays. They are not being manufactured. Only multi-layer switches. These multi-layer switches can only be one of two options, either an EX switches, small, less, let's say, expensive switches, and QFX data center service provider switches, which are large, super expensive, etc. Each port is of 10, 40, 100, 400 gigabit speed per port because it's for data centers and service providers. Now that is the difference. A lot of lines of productions for switches with Cisco, but not a lot with Juniper, not that much. Here's the lines of productions can be 3,800 something, 4,500, a little bit of that, 9,200 is available, and as well as 9,300 there is still, and maybe 9,400 as well, depends, but it varies, and they are still producing a lot. Firewalls, do they provide firewalls? Yes, both of them provide firewalls. What type of firewalls? You can search for that. You'll find that Cisco, they provide ASA, and they provide different types of firewalls, but they are not so famous with it. Like, you might not really see a lot of Cisco firewalls in the market and in the data centers, not really. With Juniper, it's also not that much. What do Juniper provide? Juniper provide a line of production of firewalls called the SRX, and it's the only line of production of firewalls. Only. That's it. Done. Now, this is what Juniper provides. So what about next generation firewalls? Both of them provide next generation firewalls. Some of them call it NGFW directly. Sometimes they call it an ASA, next generation firewalls. With Juniper, it's the same as RX, but instead of a 3-digit model number, a 4-digit model number kind of indicates it's the next generation. Like any firewall from Juniper that has a 5,000 something, which is either 5,400, 600, 800 only these three are considered as a next generation firewall. Others are just firewalls. With Cisco, it depends a little bit. We can just Google next generation firewalls and we will see the models. But what I want to bring to you right now, what I want to talk about exactly is the security appliances. What is that? Why there is a security appliance here but not there? Cisco went deep dive at that, went too much. They provided ESA, email security appliance. They provided WSA, web security appliance. They provided a ton of devices, an IPS device, a next generation IPS, a next generation firewall that includes a normal firewall with a normal IPS, or a next generation IPS that includes, let's say, a next generation firewall with an IPS, and a lot of variety, a lot of lines of productions when it comes to Cisco umbrella as well, which is used for deep packet inspection and protection, etc. So a ton of solutions when it comes to security with Cisco, because they have been developing that over years, while with Juniper they have the SRX and the SRX only. Next, we will talk about, let's say, Wi-Fi. When it comes to Wi-Fi and WLANs, what do we have is that both of them have Wi-Fi access points. It's available here and there. Cisco calls for the Wi-Fi access points with their name. So it's a Cisco production. It's a normal Cisco production. While Juniper, a couple of years ago only, 2019 actually, 2019, not that one, not 2020, I believe it was 2019, they acquired a wireless company for the very first time called Mist AI, Mist for Artificial Intelligence. So they finally got the very first wireless production, which is not really theirs. They modified it later, but it's the Mist AI production. What do Mist AI as a company provide or produce or manufacture? Well, they manufacture access points and wireless controllers. They operate over cloud. They operate in with artificial intelligence. They provide a lot of astonishing features, actually. That's why they acquired them. On the same side, or on, let's say, on the other side, not the same side, the other side, Cisco already had by that time wireless controllers, Wi-Fi access points, and they have, even before this announcement of Juniper, Cisco have provided multi-layer switches that they have a WLC card built in, which is 9,800 series of switches and WLCs. So that will be really interesting to see a switch, but inside the switch there is a WLC card included. So these are differences when it comes to these two guys. Okay, before I finish this slide, what about SDN, software defined networking? Cisco clearly provides SDA, which is called the Digital Network Appliance from Cisco, the DNA appliance. Now, this is the only solution for SDA provided nowadays until the time of recording the video from Cisco, but for Juniper it's kind of different. Why? Juniper provides something called the Juno space or the J space, and with Juno space, yes, they can connect. This is a C, not an S. They can connect an enterprise network, a campus network, and visualize the outputs and the management in one single pane of glass done. This is what they call it. With a Cisco DNA, no, it's a super expensive, highly capable appliance, physical appliance and physical appliance only, that can do much more, including ZTP, PNP, and other features. What is ZTP? Zero touch provisioning. What is PNP? Plug and play. So we will connect a brand new switch for the very first time, a Cisco switch in the network. DNA can detect it, can take a signal from that, log into it directly, automatically, and auto configure it for initial configuration as well as advanced configuration. So Cisco wins it in here. They are better when it comes to SDA. Also, they are better when it comes to SD-WAN. Cisco has acquired a company called Viptela, and Viptela was a very good company for manufacturing or for producing SD-WAN solutions. That's why Cisco acquired them, and it became Cisco Viptela. With Cisco Viptela, you will get a ton of virtual and only virtual solutions, and I will talk about that in a minute. Furthermore, and you can install them on any physical appliance. That's it, and you'll have multiple components when it comes to establish an SD-WAN, let's say, topology or an SD-WAN solution to connect multiple edge devices over the WAN. Juniper has that as well. Less capable, less advanced, but still they have it. They still support it. But Cisco are much more famous for both the solutions of SDA and SD-WAN. So generally, SDN wins here compared to Juniper. We don't know. Maybe in the future, Juniper will give us an astonishing solution when it comes to virtual platforms. When it comes to, software-defined networking, virtual platforms, what do they provide? Well, both of them provide almost the same because they provide virtual routers, both of them. There are virtual images for the ISR. There are virtual images for something called a CSR, which is a cloud services router, so it's a virtual only. They provide virtual images as well for that's it, I believe. Only these couple of, let's say, images. When it comes to Juniper, they provide virtual images for that MX platform only, not virtual ACX or a virtual PTX. No, only the VMX. These switches also are available on both the platforms. Virtual firewalls like a virtual ASA or a virtual SRX is available. When it comes to Cisco, they provide a virtual images for the SD-WAN, because it's already virtual and there is no physical, let's say, solutions from Cisco for the SD-WAN. They will only provide you the virtual images of Viptela, and that's it. Go and install it somewhere on your routers, on servers, etc. When you go to Juniper, you can get some real appliances, let's say for the Juno space, which you can use it for either SDA or SD-WAN, as well as you can, for virtual, not for physical. You can obtain the Juno space as a virtual image, actually, to use it either for SDA or SD-WAN solution, but no SDA in here yet. Yes, Cisco kind of confirmed few months ago that they are working on that, and they will announce it sometime at some point soon, but still nothing has been, let's say, officially announced, officially tested and announced from Cisco by the time of recording this video, which is almost the end of Q2 2022. So still you have to purchase a physical digital network appliance, DNA. Okay, next slide will be talking about cloud services. Do they provide both of them? They don't provide both of them. Acquired companies of focusing or concentrating on cloud services, and thus we have it. So Cisco acquired Meraki and started producing a line of production called Cisco Meraki, which provide cloud services. What are cloud services? I will not go along for, let's say, deep dive with that concept at the moment of this video, because I already have a ton of courses when it comes to cloud on orhanergan.net and on the channel of on youtube.com. But still, cloud services simply is a data center elsewhere that serves you. So we will not be purchasing real devices. You will be paying upfront or later for some services that you need, whether the services were hosted on routers, switches, firewalls, servers, controllers, etc. So the idea is Cisco acquired Meraki, and Cisco now have a Cisco Meraki cloud services. Juniper acquired Mist, remember Mist, the same Mist, and now they have Mist for cloud services as well. So both of them, yes, they do have kind of one single line of production each for the cloud services. Now, networking software is something that we also need to focus on here, and that is Cisco Systems, or Cisco, they provide by networking software I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video, and I will be mentioning here right now again. What do I mean by networking software? I mean the operating systems that can be installed on the networking appliances By networking appliances, I mean routers, virtual routers, switches, virtual switches, firewalls, virtual firewalls. These are the networking appliances that I'm talking about. The nodes, physical / virtual nodes. Cisco provide iOS, iOS XE, iOS XR, and XOS for different lines of productions. You will not see an iOS, I'm sorry, this is XR, terrible mistake. This is an iOS XR. You will not be seeing switches running an iOS XR because this is for line of production of ASR 9000, NCS whatever, and that's it, regardless of the NCS type. So only these two lines of productions, let's say, operate with iOS XR, which are both of them routers and routers only. You will never see a router running NXOS on the other hand, because it's for Nexus switches from Cisco line of production, and that is also never be a router. So this is a router only. This is, I'm sorry, an R. This is a switch only. You can find an iOS and an iOS XE on both routers and switches and firewalls, not a problem. And mostly the firewalls will be iOS XE only, not iOS, not iOS XR. The firewalls will be with iOS XE. Juniper, on the other side, are so comfortable when it comes to that, and they are so simple because they have an operating system called the Juniper operating system, has a label or brand name of Junos, and that's it. Routers, virtual routers, Junos. Switches, virtual switches, Junos. Firewalls, virtual firewalls, Junos. Line of production for service provider, data center, campus, enterprise, large network, whatever, I don't care, branch devices, Junos, all of the time, all the way, Junos. That's why they have a certificate called JNCIA, Junos. JNCIA Junos. So this one teaches you Junos before you start studying any other certificate or exam or acquire another badge from Juniper, because that one single operating system is the unified operating system across the platforms from Juniper. Furthermore, what I will talk about right now in the next slide will be the books. Do they provide books? Yes, you can visit ciscopress.com, and on Cisco Press you will find that they do provide books only on Cisco Press. Only on Cisco Press. Now that is the idea. So when you need a book from Cisco, you can visit ciscopress.com, and when you come here, you can find a ton of books categorized per certificate if you want it, per format, from the academy, video trainings as well. So these two tabs here are for trainings, video trainings, a video CCNP data center, something complete video course for 160 right now. Now these are videos, as well as Cisco Press is famous for books rather than video trainings. They are considered for books more than they are considered for video trainings. Believe me, that's why you will see Cisco books in here, which are the best books written by humans on planet Earth so far. When it goes to Juniper Networks, on Juniper Networks they have two types of books. O'Reilly.com, which is a library for tons of books. Some of these books are for Juniper Networks, while Juniper.net as well, they provide something called Day One. You can just Google Juniper Day One books, and on Juniper Day One books you will see the results. And when I go to the results, the all Day One books, I can click on that, and when I click on that I will see that these are the books. I can just click on them and download them as a PDF. They are for free. They are short books or booklets, super useful, and they are for free from Juniper. While when I go to O'Reilly, let me take this slide away, and I would like to say, let's say O'Reilly, and when I go to O'Reilly, I will see here, and this is O'Reilly Media, and I click on that. I can maybe search something, and I can say Juniper. When I see for Juniper, I can find some books, but they are not a lot. Unfortunately, they are not a lot. This is a video training as well, just like it is with Cisco Press. There are video trainings here, but for books, there is a books for the MX series, the routers, the SRX series, the firewalls, the QFX series, the switches. Again, the other one, another edition, a different book. The Networks Warrior, this is a general technology, but I'm sorry, vendor specific. This is for Juniper Technologies book, automating Junos, which is the operating system, on, and you can keep, let's say, seeing the results almost tens of pages until you finish it, or at least you might already have an idea about which book you want, so you can just search for that specific book, but you'll only find it on O'Reilly, and that's it. Okay, next we'll talk about what do these books cover, and that is a critical point, and it's an unfortunate point. Cisco books, they provide general technology. You can find a book talking about OSPF, a book talking about BGP from Cisco Press, it will talk generally. When it comes to the theory, you will spend 50 to a 70 page for a single technology, 100, 200 pages for one single technology, or sometimes a 1,000 page BGP book. When it goes theoretical, when you are reading the lines of the book, it's talking generally about the features and the specs of that protocol or that specific tech. When it goes to hands-on implementation or showing you an example, only that example will be using the Cisco syntax. Mostly it will be iOS, IOSX, CXR, depends on the book, and XOS, etc. But they teach you general topics so professionally. The best who can ever teach you some specific, let's say, technology. And they also have some different books. They have books for EIGRP, which is a routing protocol that you'll find on Cisco devices and Cisco devices only. So they provide both of them. They also provide exam preparation books. When you go again to Cisco Press, you will find the majority of the books are books called in like let's say shortcuts, or let's say small short words like CCNA, CCNP, CCIE, DC Core, EN Core, SP Core, some SP Auto, EN Auto, some books, Def Core, Def ASC Associate, CyberOps Associate. Some names, what are those? These are names of very famous exams from Cisco. So that book is either the official study guide that will help you prepare a little bit for that exam, or it's an official cert guide that will help you a lot to prepare for that exam. Be careful when you choose between a study guide or a cert guide. The majority are cert guides available. Sometimes, unfortunately, you might not find a cert guide, rather you'll find a study guide. A study guide is a study guide. A cert guide is the guide to become certified. It's a cert. It's the certification guide. All of these books, they are thousands, where on Cisco Press for Cisco, regardless of the purpose of the book. On Juniper, have you seen that? Vendor specific technology, the line of production, MX series, SRX series book, Juniper Enterprise Networking. This is a specific, and it's talking about Juniper. What do they provide when it comes to enterprise? Based on their operating system, based on their solution. Nothing open standard. Okay, nothing industry standard. This is the idea. When it comes to Juniper books, they will not talk general. Even day one or non-day one, they will not be talking general, unlike Cisco. And that's it. Any books about exams? No. Exam guides, study guides, cert guides, something, please, etc. No. A general book about OSPF, let's say, without going to another book? No. This is the idea with Juniper, unfortunately, but this is the idea with Juniper books. And these books are so few and not really that much, and they are available on the internet. Now the question is, how would I prepare for exams from Juniper? Do Juniper provide exams? Yes, Juniper do provide exams, but how would I make use of that? Sorry, how would I prepare for that? Well, unfortunately, you'll have to visit the Juniper Learning Center by going to, let me refresh this one, this should be a different one, different story. I will go to the internet or google.com, and I will say Juniper, and then after that I will say the JNCP program. What does that mean? It means that I need to move to the next slide before I am allowed to talk furthermore. So the next slide talks about trainings. With the trainings, Cisco have trainings. Okay, I just said that you can prepare for an exam from Cisco by reading books, right? Correct, that's a method. Another method is a training. The training can either be from Cisco Press or can be from Cisco Network Academy, and it can be per technology and per exam. So what I will do is that I will go and search right now on google.com, and I will say I would like to prepare for the Cisco CCNA exam from cisco.com, Cisco Systems, I'm sorry. So I will say Cisco CCNA, and I will give it an enter. So when I do give an enter, and I will see the results, and I will go a little bit below. This is cisco.com. Click, that will be training and certification. So they have trainings in there, and I will go below, and I will, let's say, kind of see the page, etc. This is the plan, on and on. Let me go a little bit up. I would like to check for something talking about the training that will exam and training. I will click on that exam topic, and how would I prepare? How would I purchase, let's say, the course? I will click on this. This is implementing and administrating Cisco solution. Let me open it in another tab. Can I? and this is that specific, let's say, training from Cisco, official training from Cisco for either 5 days or 3 days, depends on the type. And I will go a little bit below and I will see all the details of that training and the lecture, etc. And I do believe that I can see the price somewhere up, because the price has to be there. It has to be there. Let me check. I need to book, actually, enroll. When I do say enroll, I need to log in, and after login I will find that this training cost $800, 800 USDs. This is from Cisco. Officially, this is the exam, or let's say the official training from Cisco. So this is a way. Another way, go to Cisco Press, and on Cisco Press you will find something called Official Cert Guide Library of CCNA. Click on that and you'll find a couple of books, a bundle, which is volume 1 and volume 2 of that official, let's say, cert guide, or official cert guide. Yes, it's a cert guide. This is volume 1 and volume 2, totally more than 1,600 pages, something like that, to prepare you. Is that enough? That book is enough. Is that enough? That training is enough? But both of them costly. No, the training is costly. The book is nothing. Actually, 68 is nothing. Believe me, it's nothing for the amount of knowledge within it. Let me say again, they train you the best, or they teach you the best in their books of Cisco Press when it comes to a general or even a vendor-specific technology. This is a big difference you need to understand and know about. Now, if I went back to the slide, I will have also see, let's say, there are official trainings per exam and per technology. Like I can go back again to that, let's say, area of trainings, and in the trainings from Cisco.com, I can go back, let's say, somewhere like Cisco Training Services, a general page, and I can find a lot of boot camps, and I can, let's say, navigate a ton the training catalog. And with the training catalog, it doesn't have to be something that prepares me for an exam. It can prepare me just to understand the foundations of data center technologies, or understand the foundations of service provider technologies, or let's say prepare for the S-Core exam, which is a professional level of Cisco CCNP security, or the associate level of DevNet associate for the DevOps, etc. So I can filter it based on a technology, something based on the need, technology, or an exam, etc. And this is how Cisco provided. When I go to Juniper, I will find that they also provide trainings as well on the official trainings on the official website, and it's per domain. What is that? Well, that says go to the next slide. I have to. Why? Because when it comes to certifications, Cisco provide a ton of certifications. Like what? Like certifications per domain of knowledge, like a domain of knowledge called Enterprise Networking, ENT, Service Provider Networking, Security Networking, Data Center Technologies, Collaboration Technologies, DevOps, let's say, technologies and features and tools, and a long list. Each one of these has an associate level certificate, a specialist level certificates, a professional level certificates, expert level certificates. You will get a certificate per exam. So of these in total with Cisco, we're about 100 exam. It means there are 100 certificates from Cisco. With Juniper, it's less. It's around 20 something, not 100 something. It's an exaggeration actually, because it's a 60 plus in here. Something like a 60 plus, here it's a 20 plus. 3 times less, yes, but at least to be accurate, it's a 60 plus in here and a 20 plus in here with Juniper. Also, there are a cert per exam, associate, specialist, professional, expert. For what? For enterprise, for service providers, for security, for data centers, not collaborations, because I forgot to mention that. Cisco provide, and they are very famous for providing collaboration solutions for voice and video solutions, while Juniper has nothing with that. Okay, this is something to remember as well. I'm sorry for not mentioning that earlier, but I'm mentioning that here. When it comes to DevOps, also it's available on Juniper. So Juniper has what? They have enterprise, service provider, security, data center, DevOps, and design. This is for Cisco. Juniper as well has enterprise, service provider, security, data center, DevOps, and design. Difference is that Cisco has collaboration while Juniper has no collaboration. Also associate, specialist, professional, and expert, on and on and on. And it's a lot. If I want to take a look on that, I will have to go to google.com, and I would like to type again, I would like to say, this time I will not be saying really CCNA or something like that. I will say Cisco CCNP. If I did that, what will happen? Let me show you the results. sorry, and the results are, first link is from Cisco, or second link says professional certificate. Go to professional certificates, and you can see enterprise, data center, security service provider, collaboration, cyber operations, DevNet, and each one of them has a lot more. What does that mean? Go to the enterprise. When you go to the enterprise, you will find that there are these 7 exams. These are 6 plus 1, 7 exams that are within the domain of becoming a professional with Cisco Enterprise Solutions. Each one of these, you can click on the recommended training, will give you official training, video training from Cisco, or the exam will give you the exam page with how to book for the exam and pay for the fees, and you check the exam agenda. Now see the differences? So the idea is the training is per exam. So there's a training called the Anchor training, and it will cost you $1,000, okay, something like that, because it's a professional level. With associate level, it will cost you $800, something like that, per training. And the training, let's say, prepares you for an entire exam. This is the idea. So far, so good. So far, so good. Believe me. Why? Because when I look to Juniper, and I go to Juniper, and I would like to click on something with Juniper, and that something will be Juniper JNCP program, which is a simple page that shows me all Juniper certificates, all of them. These are all the exams available right now and certificates from Juniper. Every single certificate of these has a single exam related to it. You want to become certified as JNCI PDC? Take an exam from Juniper called JNCI PDC. Done. As simple as that. You want to become a specialist in security, you will take one single exam called Security Specialist with Juniper. Done. It's as simple as that. How can I prepare? 2 gaps. Gap number 1, disaster gap, the catastrophe of Juniper. What is it? No books. No books for that specific exam. Cisco Press provides you super useful, big books, knowledgeable books for exams. The book name is CCNA, the book name is CCIE, CCMP, something, etc. The book name, it's a third guide. It prepares me. I will purchase it. I will do a lot with that book. I have like 12 of these, 15 of these so far. Okay, so a book per called Certified DevNet Associate. That's it, with the same code, 291. Done. Is it useful? It's super useful. It helped me a ton just to pass the exam that I passed 2-3 years ago with that book anyway. So the idea is they provide it in that way. Juniper has no books. They have no books per, let's say, exam. What do they have? They have only trainings per exam. Show me. Well, I will show you something that you will regret in a minute, because let's say something that I'm good with. Let's say JNCI CNT. I will click on JNCI's Enterprise Routing and Switching exam, Specialist Level Enterprise Routing and Switching. Look at this, Enterprise Routing and Switching Specialist. Okay, I will go below. Recommended training is a couple of trainings. So they do not also, gap number 2, gap number 1, no books. Gap number 2, no training per exam. So no books per exam. Gap number 2, no trainings per exam. Because these are general trainings from Juniper that they can prepare you for a variety of technologies, and they are also useful for passing this exam, which is called JNCI CNT. If I open the pages of these, so I will have to study intermediate routing level with Junos in a training, and enterprise switching with Junos in another training, and let's see the cost of that. If I want to Junos JIR, I will have, let's say, to click on a session. This is a little bit zoomed in, actually. I would like to take this session, which is for Americas AMER. If I click on that session, I would like to book it. It will cost me $1,900. And this is only half of the preparation, because it's only intermediate routing, JIR. With switching, I will have to select another as well, and that will be kind of another $1,900, which is discounted. These used to be more expensive, $2,300 and onward. $1,900 is a new price. It's a discounted price, clearly. So that will cost me $3,800 American dollar to prepare for this exam from Juniper officially, because there are no books. No books, unfortunately. Plus, the exam fees of JNCIs are $300, so that will take me $4,100 USD to become certified with JNCI CNT, and then we will need to find a good job that pays well to recover what we have paid with that one one single certificate. If you want to become really certified with a lot of these, you need to prepare some, what do they call it in America? Grants. 5 grants, 4 grants, they call it like that, like it's $5,000, something like that. They call it big grant, small grant, they have different namings in USA. So this is the idea with it, unfortunately. Now, how would you really fix that? Would you leave Juniper? There are many different alternatives. Like what? Like in training, not from Juniper. Like who? Like me, maybe, Sajjad, because I'm already certified with 8 of these. Anyway, how did I do that? I worked for an official partner for Juniper for years, and they were generous, providing me good tools and good resources and my experience on real devices and appliances from Juniper. So I collected a lot, I passed a lot of exams, and I have written a lot of slides by my hand and implemented a lot of solutions on virtual environments like EVND by using that VMX and VQFX images, etc. So I created so far, if you follow me and follow the links that I have, English-wise, you will only find my content or English content for Juniper networks only on orhanergun.net, the website that I showed you earlier. You'll find JNCI Junos, JNCI CNT, JNCI PNT, uploading but not completed, JNCI PSP, uploading not completed, JNCI SSP completed. So these are available. These are still not available, uploading, and part of this is available as well. It's called Introduction to Junos Security. Okay, 3 hours just to introduce you to the SRX, virtual SRX, and the features of SRX and SRX clustering. So I did that. So far, so what I did, and that's it. This is the amount that I can do until the moment, and next year I'm planning to publish these as well. That's it. I cannot, let's say, provide more. This is the idea. One thing is really different between Cisco and Juniper here, which is the opposite of providing resources for exams. You see these exams on the right side, these are lab exams. With lab exams, Juniper don't provide a training. They provide you a workbook, a few hundred pages that will, not a lot actually, 200 pages, something like that, that will prepare you very well to prepare for this exam. For how much? For $599. Just click on the link and you will see $599. Subscribe, they will give you a PDF to download, done, you get the book. Cisco on the other side, they don't provide neither direct books or, let's say, workbooks for their expert level exams, which are called CCIE and CCDE. Here they are called JNCIE, like something like a certified expert. There it's called CCIE, certified expert as well. So they don't provide you neither real books and neither trainings, video trainings. Sorry. Now this is a big gap from Cisco. So Cisco provides you, let's say, prepares you so well in a very detailed and careful way, like your father is preparing you for a very important exam for associate, specialist, professional levels, but not for expert levels. With expert levels, you will need to find a training partner, you will need to find someone else, you will need to find orhanergun.net, the company that I work at right now. What do we have? We have CCI Service Provider, CCI Enterprise, CCDE, and there are 150 hours plus per training. Videos for more than 150 hours, workbooks for more than 10-15 workbook. Each workbook is almost a little bit like the size of this guy, the workbooks here, because they are larger exams. The expert level exams of Cisco are more difficult, way more, 3 times more difficult than the Juniper expert level exams. This is a big differentiation. So I hope that I have covered a lot so far, because the video is still not ended and I will have to talk about recertification criteria next. But what I really want from everyone who have reached so far is to ask if it was not in the Facebook group, just the comments below the video, ask, because there are big variations. There are a lot of variations when it comes to compare Cisco versus Juniper. The last slide that I have today before I say thank you and goodbye is how would you recertify the certifications that you already acquired from either Cisco or Juniper. With Cisco, there is something called, or I named it as, a vertical and horizontal approach, which is if you have an associate level certificate and another associate level certificate, and you have, let's say, 3 specialist level certificates and a couple of professionals, what happens is that if you retook an exam, or you took a new exam that is an associate level, it will recertify horizontally and below. So what is on the horizontal side, or let's say what is on the horizon? On the horizon right now is the other associate levels that I have already certified. So it will recertify all of them. if I passed a specialist level exam, or I retook a specialist level exam of Cisco, it will recertify the horizon and below. So in a single exam, passing that single exam, I will recertify it, and I will recertify 2, 3, 4, 5 more certificates that I have from Cisco. Now if you pass the professional or pass the expert same way, all the experts will be recertified and whatever below. So passing an expert level with Cisco recertifies, you have another 50 certificates from Cisco, all of the other 50s will be recertified from Cisco. The sad truth of Juniper is quite the opposite, which makes me frustrated, like actually from Juniper for doing it in that way. But I don't know what they are thinking of actually, because sometimes I'm really busy to recertify every domain at a time, because I need to study a lot, and I'm already studying a lot, but I need to come back and study the new versions, etc. What do I mean? If you have a specialist level in service provider technologies from Juniper, to recertify it, you'll have to take the specialist level again or higher. If you took it, will be recertified. Will it recertify the other specialists? No. And that is a disaster. If you passed Juniper professional level of data center technologies, it will recertify the certificate and will recertify what's below it, like specialist level in data center and associate level in data center only. That's it, vertical only. It will not be touching the other professionals, neither the other specialist levels. Why? I don't know. It's really like killing me here, but I don't know what can I do. I will have to take my service provider SP professional exam again, and I will have to take my enterprise routing and switching professional exam again, or take higher, which is the expert level only, which will cost me right now 1,600 plus 600 for the preparation and some taxes, so that will be $2,000 something for a 6-hour long lab exam that I can take from home right now. I already have an external monitor with a laptop, which is an external keyboard as well, which is the setup approved by Juniper to take a remote exam, a lab remote exam, while Cisco do not provide and do not support remote lab exams. They only support remote written exams, and these are for a different video, not to be talked about here. I need to hear all about your questions. What do you think? Did you benefit from the video or not? Are you working with either of these technologies, or let's say company Cisco or Juniper? And I would like to see a ton of questions below. Thanks a lot, and I hope to see you in the upcoming video.